Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're exploring a really fascinating shift in AI assisted coding. And this is especially for those of you already, deep in the weeds with vibe coding and the model context protocol. We're diving into Kilo Code. It's a tool that seems to be doing more than just enhancing workflows. It looks like it's actively shaping a new way of working in software development. We've pulled together a pretty compelling stack of sources for this deep dive. We've got firsthand accounts from veteran developers, detailed product analyses, and insights straight from the community itself. Our mission here is really to distill what Kilo Code means for you, the expert developer who's trying to cut through all the noise, the information overload, and get profound, actionable knowledge on this sort of bleeding edge of human AI collaboration.
Yeah, and what's striking, I think, is how the whole conversation around AI in development has really grown up. It's matured. We're moving past just like the initial skepticism. We're seeing it as just a
Yeah.
novelty, simple code generation. We're actually stepping into a space of, well, genuine, synergistic collaboration. And our core source today is this really remarkable journey of Brendan O'Leary. He's a developer, started out as a pretty big AI skeptic.
Yeah.
But he took on this intensive thing-day challenge, really put 10 different AI coding tools through their paces. And his insights, they give us this fantastic lens, really,
Yeah.
to understand Kilo Code.
Okay, let's unpack that journey then. Brendan, veteran coder, right?
Hmm.
And initially, he saw tools like GitHub Copilot as well, not much more than a curiosity, certainly not revolutionary for serious dev work. He even talked about this internal resistance he felt, kind of similar maybe to when Google first became essential for coding.
We're calculators in math, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or when calculators fundamentally changed how mathematicians worked. But then he had this breakthrough moment, a pivotal point where he found himself really, truly pair programming with an AI on a pretty complex state management refactor.
Right, and that experience, it led him to identify a really fundamental distinction. He differentiates what many of you might already know as vibe coding.
Right, the superficial stuff.
Yeah, that often superficial, sort of blindly generated code. He calls it a party trick, basically, where the AI is just completing sentences. He separates that from this much deeper, more collaborative idea of vibe engineering.
Okay, and here's where it gets really insightful, I think. Vibe engineering, as he presents it, it's this profound collaboration, a dynamic collaborative dance, he calls it, where the AI is acting like a genuine partner. It's for brainstorming complex architectures, really digging into edge cases, meticulously refining solutions. And his example, optimizing that recursive data processing pipeline, that illustrates it perfectly. He wasn't just, throwing prompts over the wall. He was in a dialogue with the AI. A real back and forth.
Yeah. He'd explain a bottleneck. The AI suggests multiple optimization approaches, lays out the trade-offs.
Nuanced trade-offs, yeah.
Right. Then they'd collaboratively explore these options. The AI even provides sample code, sample implementations, and this iterative dialogue, this real exchange, led him to a solution he admits he probably wouldn't have found on his own.
Or at least not nearly as fast.
Definitely not in that time frame, yeah, compared to just traditional methods.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really highlights the AI's, well, exceptional strength in rapidly exploring these huge solution spaces. I mean, that's a capability we humans just can't match for speed or breadth. But then that's perfectly complemented by the human's really invaluable ability for, nuanced judgment and that deep contextual understanding.
So it's not human following AI
No.
or AI just doing what a human says.
Exactly. It's genuine synergy. Each side brings its unique strengths, and you end up creating something, well, more robust than either could manage alone. And this profound revelation about the power of vibe engineering, that's what ultimately led Brendan to join Kilo Code. Our sources, they keep highlighting Kilo Code's unique position in this whole ecosystem. It's designed not just as another option, but as a comprehensive superset tool. It seems to meticulously combine the best features from two big open source predecessors, Klein and Root Code, plus its own innovations.
Yeah, that lineage is really important to grasp its power. Kilo Code started as a fork of Root Code.
Which itself came from Klein.
Exactly. So from Klein, it gets these sophisticated strengths like the plan act modes. And those are incredibly valuable, right? They let the AI strategically break down and then execute complex multi-step tasks, not just spit out isolated code snippets.
So you define the plan.
You define the plan, the AI acts on it, refines it iteratively. Then from Root Code, Kilo Code gets that advanced context condensing, which honestly is a game changer for bigger code bases. It lets it maintain this deep, relevant understanding of even huge projects without getting lost. That's a common problem for other tools.
Information overload for the AI.
Totally. And of course, root code's multi-mode functions, architect, code,
Yeah.
ask modes, those are now central to Kilo Code too. The whole philosophy behind it is clearly about fostering genuine collaboration, augmentation. It's not about replacing the human.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for someone listening, someone like you, who's already using AI coding assistants day to day? Kilo Code, it's an open source AI agent extension built specifically for VS Code. And its core purpose isn't just, superficial speed ups. It seems aimed at profoundly enhancing your cognitive process
Right.
through intelligent code generation, sophisticated task automation, context-aware suggestions, all integrated right into your existing VS Code environment. And being open source, that means transparency, extensibility. You're not locked into some black box.
And what's really, I think, revolutionary here is their explicit, almost aggressive focus on making the mundane parts of programming just disappear.
Get rid of the grunt work.
Literally disappear. Kilo Code aims for the AI to handle the tedious stuff, the time sinks, dependency management, tricky bug finding, documentation updates, writing rigorous tests, even typing issues. And this isn't just about saving a few keystrokes, right? It's about freeing up an expert developer's most precious resource, mental bandwidth.
Headspace.
Exactly. It lets you pour your creative energy into what's actually interesting. The high-level creative problem-solving, the architectural design, stuff only a human can truly master.
Okay, let's dive a bit deeper then into some of Kilo Code's standout features, the ones that really enable this vibe engineering. Maybe you could start with the multi-mode functionality. How do modes like Orchestrator and Architect genuinely change how a developer works compared to, say, a single-mode AI?
Yeah, that's where the synergy really starts to show because it changes how you delegate thinking to the AI.
Yeah.
Take Orchestrator mode. It's not just breaking down tasks. It's like delegating complex project management,
It-
high-level strategy to the AI, almost like having a seasoned PM right in your editor.
So for that email agent example,
Right. In Orchestrator mode, Kilo Code helps you break down the whole project. Logical subtasks, API integration, the NLP logic, UI bits, testing frameworks. And then it can delegate those to other modes, or even custom agents you build. Then, switch to Architect mode. Here, the AI helps you design the foundational solutions, suggesting optimal data structures, maybe outlining complex system architectures, before you even write a line of implementation code.
So using AI for brainstorming architecture.
Exactly. Leveraging AI for that high-level design thinking.
And then you've got code mode for actually writing the code and debug mode for hunting down problems. But what really intrigues me, especially thinking about our expert listeners, is creating custom modes. How does that lift Kilo Code above typical AI assistants?
Oh, custom modes are a total game changer for specialized workflows or, proprietary systems. If you're an expert dev in an enterprise setting, you could create a custom mode that understands your company's specific internal coding standards, unique frameworks, maybe even specific security protocols.
So it generates code that fits right in.
Immediately fits your exact environment, not just generic code. That drastically reduces friction, cuts down review cycles. It's huge.
That kind of seamless integration brings us right to the Model Context Protocol, the MCP server marketplace. Now, this is a big one for you, our listener, especially if you're already working with MCP. How does Kilo Code's implementation of MCP really set it apart, particularly for those complex enterprise scenarios?
Right. For those of you already deep into the Model Context Protocol, KiloCode's MCP Server Marketplace isn't just like an add-on. It's more like a blueprint for total granular customization. It comes straight from a client's approach and lets you dramatically extend KiloCode by integrating any custom tool or external system through a simple JSON-based API.
Any tool,
Yeah.
like internal wikis.
Internal documentation wikis, proprietary company APIs,
Yeah.
specialized code analysis tools you use internally, even direct connections to your CI/CD pipelines. This level of extensibility is, frankly, unparalleled right now. It makes Kilo Code uniquely adaptable to pretty much any complex enterprise environment where you have bespoke solutions and need tight control over data flows. It really hammers home that principle.
Yeah.
For reliable AI, context isn't just king.
It's the whole kingdom.
It's the entire kingdom, exactly.
And speaking of context, context is king seems like a core philosophy for Kilo Code. You see it in features like Context 7 in the memory bank. What's the deeper insight there beyond just, stopping the AI from making stuff up? How does this dedication to context really power vibe engineering?
Well, avoiding hallucinations, that's kind of table stakes now,
Oh.
right? Everyone expects that. The real insight is how Context 7's access to, 15,000 plus libraries. It means the AI is building on a foundation of proven current knowledge.
Not outdated info.
Exactly. Context 7 isn't just a static pile of docs. It's an intelligent lookup engine. It's constantly pulling from accurate, real-time documentation for a huge range of libraries and frameworks. So that elevates the AI from just a suggestion engine to a genuinely reliable collaborator. You can actually trust its proposals more, focus on the higher level architecture, knowing the underlying details are probably based on solid, accurate data.
Okay.
And the memory bank is just as transformative. It means you stop having to re-explain your application, your design choices, your preferences over and over again to the AI.
That gets old fast.
It really does. It keeps its own persistent records of past work. It learns your patterns. That dramatically cuts down the cognitive load on you and allows for a much more natural, continuous collaboration, like working with a colleague who actually remembers things.
Yeah, that sounds like it massively streamlines the whole iteration cycle. What about automation and reliability? Especially for those repetitive or error-prone tasks that just bog developers down?
It's designed to be remarkably robust. Our sources point to automatic failure recovery. Kilo doesn't just flag errors, it detects them, proactively runs your test suites, and then attempts to automatically recover, often suggesting and even applying fixes itself.
Wow.
It's not just about convenience, it's about minimizing those frustrating interruptions to your flow state. And beyond that, its ability to generate code from natural language prompts is really top tier. Automating repetitive stuff like scaffolding new projects, running full test suites, streamlining complex refactors. It honestly aims to make the plumbing of development just disappear.
Okay, and finally, let's touch on model agnosticism and cost effectiveness. For an expert who's navigating different AI models, different potential costs, how does KiloCode's approach give you a strategic edge?
This is pretty critical for flexibility and, frankly, resource optimization, especially if you're working in a team. KiloCode is built to support multiple leading AI models: Claude 4 Sonnet, Gemini 2.5 Pro, GPT 4.1, often without you having to manually juggle API keys, which lets you pick the best model for a specific job, or maybe optimize for cost on certain tasks. And speaking of cost, it offers a pretty generous free tier, I think $20 in credits, which makes it a very cost-effective choice compared to some pure subscription tools. We saw real-world examples like building that email management agent we keep mentioning,
$5.
costing as little as $5 start to finish. That shows significant potential for real savings on actual projects and lets you experiment much more freely.
Okay, that's a really powerful overview of the features. To make this super concrete for our listeners, could you maybe walk us through how KiloCode and this whole vibe engineering idea come together in practice, like building that email management agent you mentioned?
Absolutely. Let's trace that example through. So you start in architect mode. KiloCode doesn't just list libraries. It helps you sketch out the entire project structure. It might suggest a node mailer for the email stuff, propose a modular architecture so it can scale later, maybe even outline the NLP logic for parsing emails, all before you write actual code.
Setting the blueprint.
Exactly. Then you switch to code mode. It generates the code for the API integration, the NLP logic, making sure it's contextually compatible with the architecture you just designed. So for you, the developer, you're not wasting time on boilerplate code.
Right.
It automates the mundane setup tasks too, setting up the dev environment, configuring dependencies, maybe running initial tests. Saves a ton of setup time. Then when issues pop up, which they always do, debugger mode really kicks in. It can analyze complex error logs from, say, the API integration, identify subtle issues, and then proactively suggest precise fixes. And crucially, because of the MCP server marketplace, you're not stuck with just its built-in knowledge.
Yeah.
You can easily plug in custom tools. Maybe one that fetches your company's specific email templates directly from an internal content management system via a proprietary API.
Tailor-made.
Exactly. Significantly enhancing the agent's function, making it perfectly suited for your specific enterprise needs.
And throughout his whole experiment, Brendan O'Leary kept seeing this clear trend. AI isn't replacing developers. It's fundamentally changing what development means.
The emphasis shifts, right? Away from rote tasks towards higher level thinking.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, skills like raw coding ability, just knowing syntax or boilerplate patterns, they become less critical when the AI can reliably generate correct code from a good high-level description. Instead, what becomes really paramount are the truly human skills. First, system design and architecture, that ability to grasp the big picture, think ahead, design cohesive, scalable solutions.
The vision part.
Yes. Second, problem framing. Clearly articulating not just what needs solving, but why it matters, who it's for, the strategic context. Third, evaluation and judgment. critically assessing the AI's output. Is it correct, secure, maintainable? Does it actually meet the business goals? And finally, contextual knowledge. Understanding the business domain, the subtle user needs, the specific organizational constraints, stuff no AI can fully grasp. These are the truly irreplaceable human contributions, I think. Hearing you talk about that shift, it really does make me think of the calculator analogy again. How calculators freed mathematicians from just doing arithmetic, letting them focus on understanding concepts, interpreting results. Do you see a similar abstraction ladder forming here, where the creative, the judgmental, the communicative parts of software development become even more central and maybe, frankly, more enjoyable?
Absolutely. I think the analogy is spot on. AI isn't just a faster way to hammer nails, it's pushing us up that extraction ladder. We're moving from the sort of tactical act of writing lines of code to the more strategic act of designing, evaluating, and guiding these intelligent agents to produce the solutions we need. The future, it seems clear, isn't about humans being replaced by AI developers. It's about humans and AI engaging in this vibe engineering together, creating software that, honestly, neither could build alone, certainly not as fast or
A
effectively.
true partnership.
But true partnership. But this isn't just an evolution of our tools. It feels like a profound shift in how we even approach problem solving in software development.
So, as you reflect on your own expertise, maybe in vibe coding, maybe already using the Model Context Protocol, consider this. How might embracing a tool like Kilo Code and this whole philosophy of vibe engineering not just speed up your output, but maybe fundamentally reshape the kinds of complex problems you decide to tackle, pushing the boundaries of human machine collaboration in ways we're probably only just starting to imagine?